You don't surrender. If you don't come out now, we will kill all of you. You got 5 minutes. Now, what's your reply? And a black man came out and he said, better far from all we see, to die fighting to be free. What more fitting end could be? Better surely than in bed, where in broken health we're led, lingering until we're dead. Better than with prayers and pleas, or in the clutch of some disease, wasting slowly by degrees. Better than of heart attack, or some dose of drug we lack. Let us die by being black. Better far that we should go, standing here against the foe. Is the sweeter death to know? Better than the bloody stain on some highway where we are lame, torn by flying glass and pain. Better call in death to come than to die another dumb, muted black man in the slum. Better than of this prison rot, if there's any choice we have got, kill us today on the spot. Better far our fight to wage now while our blood boils with rage, lest it cool with ancient age. Better violent for us to die than to give up an Uncle Tom and try, making peace just to live a lie. Better if we say our sooth, we gonna die today demanding truth, while we're still akin to youth. Better now than later on, now that fear of death is gone. Never mind another darn. You know what happened after that? They killed them. But they died right there for freedom.
God bless America.
Folk, you see what's on the screen, but we're not going to get into that quite yet. Tonight, we got a lot to talk about, folk. The Olympics out here banning black folks trying to get black people back in the Olympics, black people taking accountability for their mess ups during the Olympics. Black folks don't want to accept that. Chicago's running amok. White supremacy decided to show his ugly head, and it's so-called patriotism. The N-word got blurted out. White boy got arrested. Bill Cosby's home. Oh, yes, sir. Bill Cosby's home. Felicia Rashad getting heat from black people. I thought she was America's mom, but who knows? They love you until they hate you. And a whole bunch of other stuff is coming. And we got to talk about some legal stuff. But let's get into it.
I can go anywhere. I can be anything. I can go anywhere. I can be anything.
Before the continue, insert coin. Back to split, legging hits to the groin. Live in Mortal Kombat versus Shao Kahn. Resemble dad and mom just to face my fear. I had not to care to conquer life. Needed balls, bollocks, cojones to embrace aloneness. Hearing your life's less made my decisions lifeless, but I digress. You 90s rulers of life a mess by your behest. We do all what you say for a quest. Intention the best creates intended tension. Thinking there's secrets in the Snowden. Mad after facts out and about, so we spout hate to what we create. An endless cycle. The fate we articulate, capitulate. Forward checkmate on a checkerboard. Rise on a rip call to see pots, pans. Looking up for fellow follow fans who sing praise and worship under all. But we can't have that unwanted subscription. We only subscribe to accomplish aspirations for those we say.
I can go anywhere.
What's up, guys? It's Nikki Lachey, and you are listening to Beyond Borders with Rose Gold and Kid Gravity.
The views and opinions of this podcast are solely those of the host, Beyond Borders Media. And trust me, if you hear something you didn't like, go do your research.
So I was talking. So I was talking for like 5 minutes and didn't say nothing. Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna say this again, folk. I hope you all had a safe 4th. My camera doesn't want to work today, so I'm gonna use the BS laptop camera. See how that goes. But I hope you all are safe out there. It's officially now real summer now. My man Topher Town Music is in the chat. So whenever y'all see this on the playback, say what's up to Topher, go to his channel, look at his music, leave a like on there. Hopefully one day we can collaborate. Speaking of music, every time you guys hear the opening on this or on the audio, sometimes you might hear that song that played. That's off my 2014 album, I Don't Want to Deal. It's available everywhere you can get music. So show a brother a little love. It's only 99 cents. Y'all spend more than that on Jordans. So y'all can give me $1. I ain't begging. But anyway, we got to get into this, folk. A lot happened in the last week. And we got to talk about it. So for those on the audio, y'all can't see what I'm playing to the folk, but I'm going to explain this. But let's start. Bill Cosby is home, baby. Now, regardless of how you feel about this man and what he did, because, you know, there's arguments to be made on both sides of the aisle, just be glad and rejoice in the fact that a black man came home. He had the money and he had the right lawyers and the right setup to make sure he got home. Let that man die in his house next to his wife. It's not fair. But he came home, and of course, black folks like me were happy, just like a lot of people. And then we had black folks, like my old lady, who was pissed that she wasn't pissed that he came home, but she was a little perturbed that he did what he did. But I told her he really didn't do nothing. And we was about to argue, and you know you can't argue with a black woman, because as a black man, you automatically gonna lose, because you just can't out argue a black woman. So I ain't push it. But like I said, the man is home now, and he's going scorched earth. And I love every second of it, because of course his ride or dies put him over and said they're glad that he's home. And people like Lisa Bonet and Gloria Allred, that feminist, I'm going to be nice woman, decided that he shouldn't be out. And then Mark Lamont Hill on his platform decides to bring on the Tyrannosaurus Rex, aka Tarana Burke, who created Me Too and got it stolen from her by white feminists. And Brittany Cooper, who famously said that Trump and his administration was the reason why she was obese. Yet we found photos, folks, and back in 2008, you could go look this up, where she was fat. So she should be blaming Obama. But we're not going to go into that today. I'm going to leave her alone. Okay, I'm not going to leave her alone for 30 seconds. I'm sure all black people watched that show, and they kept using the R word. I'm not going to say the R word here because YouTube is going to flag the video. They used the R word. I got pissed. I didn't leave anything in the comment section, by the way. I just looked at it and I said, see, this is what we're talking about. We got to get, we're going to have to do a lot of summer cleaning, folks, but that's another subject for another day. What you're seeing on the screen on the video, Bill Cosby came outside. He started going scorched earth, fam. Because, of course, Howard University, who Bill Cosby gave money to, decided to say, hey, you know what? We're going to have some morality. And we're going to say, listen, this is not cool that he did all these women and he got to come home. And we're not going to talk about how it is run by non-black people and they're trying to integrate one of the biggest HBCUs in the country. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, we're going to talk about it a little bit. But they're pissed off that a black man got out. So Howard University, all y'all down in DC, DMV area, shout out to Rose Gold. Tell your people down there, especially Kamala, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, fam. This has nothing to do with you. Anthony Anderson, Toni Morrison, you up there in heaven too. Holla at me. Tell them to get back the money. All these HBCUs that came out against Cosby, give back the money. All the $20 million he gave, I think at total they said he gave over $100 million. All y'all get that money back, since you stand with victims, and it's morally wrong what he did. Y'all took away his medals and his awards. Give back the money too. Shout out to Stephanie Mills. She said it on Twitter. People came for her. She stood her ground. That's what we need. Felicia Rashad, Claire Huxtable fan. She praised that man coming home, as well she should. She was riding with that man from day one. So when Howard came out and said what they said, and then Janet Hubert, y'all know, Aunt Viv 1, she came out. She said something. That Felicia Rashad apologized because they were threatening her job. Shout out to Aunt Viv, by the way, for coming outside and talking about this, because she got 2 new gigs. So her people had to tell her, you got to go outside and say something against this black man because you're part of the club now. But I'm really going to do that show. That's going to be the second to last show of the season. We're going to talk about how Hollywood is beholden to these quote unquote white liberal mouthpieces. We're going to talk about that. But on the screen, Bill Cosby decided to put out a statement saying, hey, y'all going to leave Claire alone, son, because I got something for y'all. So what did Bill say? He said, quote, this mainstream media are the insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol. Now, I forgot to preface that as well. He said that the fall of January 6th was not the MAGA people. It was the mainstream media. I'm not touching that. Not today. If y'all want to look at that, go back in my archives when I did the January 6th episode, because of course I was there. So FBI, I'm sure you're going to come for me, whatever. I don't care. He said, yeah, he was talking about that. I don't want to read that. I'm trying to find out where he said, damn it. Oh, here we go. Howard University, you must support one's freedom of speech. Talking about Ms. Rashad, which is taught or supposed to be taught every day at that renowned law school, which resides on your campus, the statement declared. Speaking of the fictional Claire Huxtable's real life assertion of support for Cosby's release on June 30th. The actor was let go last week on a technicality after serving over 2 years of an up to 10-year sentence for sexually assaulting Andrea Constant in 2004. I'm not going over the case. Black folks, y'all don't really need to go do research. Go look at the case yourself. I'm not going over it because it's going to take too long. I could do a whole show on that. I'm good. So I'm going to close this because this is going to be fun. Folk, y'all know, my wife will tell you, I play Cosby clips all the time off YouTube. And I love me some Claire Huxtable. She should never have apologized for that. Never. I've said this more than one occasion on my podcast. Y'all, if y'all are straight in your opinion, you should never apologize. Because once you apologize, you in their pocket, they can do whatever they want. I understand that she got this tenured, it's not tenured, but she got this position and she wanted to make sure she can help out the youth. And, she has to protect her brand and all that. But it's not like she sat up there and was faking the funk. She was riding with this man for years. Even when they were doing the show and he was being accused, she stood there by his side. I don't know how you could fake 40 years of loyalty. I don't know how you do that. 38 years of loyalty. I don't know how you do that. But, black folks. And it's just funny that her sister was one of the people that say he need to rot in prison. But, that's another subject for another day. We're going to leave that alone. I do want to bring this up, though. And it kind of ties in with Cosby, but it kind of doesn't. As y'all know, I interviewed Topher Town Music, or he goes by Topher. However you want to call it, go look at that man's music, please. We have conversations on the back end, and I asked, I was just seeing how he's doing, and I still gonna do his album review. I'm tired. Okay, I work all day, so it's hard as a YouTuber to try to do videos and extra content when it's not live. But I promise I will get to that. You'll have it by the end of the month. But he'd put up a post the other day about a case that he's trying to get clarification on, him and his circle. And I was looking it over last night because someone else sent me some information on it. And it's kind of crazy, this whole case. And it goes to show that I understand what the pro-blacks say. Like, they want, for some reason, they just love screwing black people all day. I get it. And I'm looking at this case and I'm saying to myself, nah. Like, y'all had evidence and you won't let this man out? Don't this sound like Kamala, boy? Keeping people longer than their sentence supposed to be? Like, I don't get it. But I'm going to just show y'all this. Here it is. And hopefully when you guys see this, you guys go research it for yourself and get the word out, because from what I'm seeing, this sounds just like what they did with old Bill. All right, so I shared this screen. I want y'all to look at that first paragraph. It says, quote, Curtis Davis Jr., that's the name of the person, appeals the denial of his second post-conviction relief motion, seeking relief based on newly discovered DNA evidence. We agree with the trial's findings that Davis's motion is barred as a successful writ and affirmed. Now, this was in 2015. Now, according to what Topher and this other person told me, they had DNA evidence and other factors that would help this person get out and get their conviction overturned. And for some reason, what's this joker's name? Where is it? He sent it to me yesterday. What was that guy's name? Jesus Christ. Some jerk in Mississippi. He got some power, and he decided he don't want to do nothing about it. He I guess, it don't look good if you try to overturn something. I don't know what's this joker's name. I don't know if y'all can help me. I don't know if Topher's still in there. He's probably not. Whatever this Mississippi DA's name is, I'm sure when you guys look this up, you guys can find out the guy's name. I don't remember his name off top. But this whole situation, the stuff that I was reading that they sent me, it's crazy. Like, he's filing motions, his people, his lawyers, they have the evidence. They showed that the evidence was not their client, and he still is in prison. I think he's still in prison, which is not fair. He needs to come home. And it just goes to the fact that, again, Bill, this man, and all these other people, they're like I get it. You want black folks, you think we're animals and we're monsters and savages. I get it. Doug Evans. Okay, Doug Evans. Damn, Doug Evans. Man, that sounds like some dude that's gonna sell you bad life insurance. Like, yeah, listen. You get the $500,000 policy. You just got to pay $20 a month. You think it's a good deal. And then when you're ready to cash out, they're like, oh, you didn't make the whole deductible, so we can only give you a portion of it. And then they cut off the top. He looked like he has billboards that are on the older buses in the town, not even the new buses. You know, the ones that use the clean natural gas. They use the old. They're using the ones with the diesel engines. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of dude. But he look. I wouldn't be surprised if he BLM. I wouldn't be surprised. But you know, I'm not gonna cast aspersions on anybody because I ain't trying to get sued. But you know, look up this case, Curtis Davis. You know, put up on your Instagrams and your Facebooks and your Twitters. Speaking of Twitter, I hope they, you know what, F Twitter. I'm not even gonna talk about them. They can go. Anyway, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna go from Mississippi to a town where they have a lot in common with. And I talk about this town a lot on my show, folks. And that town would be Chicago. Oh, yes, folks. Chicago. I don't know what the hell is going on in Chicago. I don't know what they got going on up there. I don't know what. There got to be something in the water. It got to be. Because, folks, when you see on the screen people on the audio, I'm on Fox 32's website and their Chicago Fox affiliate. 32 people shot, 4 fatally. This was on Thursday, folks. They officially have 99 people shot in one weekend. 17 fatally, including, folks, a 1-month-old. At least they had the wherewithal to call it a mass shooting. They shot a 1-month-old. They were spraying, hit the 1-year-old in the head. Luckily, it was a flesh wound. That's what we're doing now, Chicago. You're shooting 1-month-olds. Okay. This is what we're doing. Y'all shot a 9-year-old too in a car. But the mayor is saying that the biggest problem she has in her city is racism and white supremacy. I don't see white supremacy shooting little kids in the head. I don't see too many white folks on the north side, even the south side, shooting each other at these numbers. I don't see it. That's right, folks. Kids. They said they had like 25 kids this year killed. 25. So kids are off limits in Chicago, I guess. They're not off limits. Okay, y'all got it. I'm done talking about Chicago because I'm sure once they see this video, they're all gonna come in my comment section talking about you don't know nothing about Chicago. You not from here. You don't understand. Make me understand how you're shooting kids. Y'all didn't learn nothing from Tyshawn Lee, huh? Oh, that's right. You were going at his daddy. That I forgot. My bad on that one. So y'all didn't learn nothing from Jaslyn. That's right. Y'all was going after her daddy again. So she couldn't even get a Happy Meal. She got bullets. She's dead. Interesting. Okay. But then y'all wonder why tourism in that city is down. People are leaving. And your mayor just doesn't seem to give a damn. But now you have a black alderman, which I'm sure y'all gonna call a coon, saying that he would like to see the National Guard helping the police. Yet I remember 4 years ago when the man that y'all don't like that was president before this man that we don't like as president said the same exact thing. Y'all called him a racist. It's funny how that works. So the white man says something, he was racist. But when the black man says it, I'm sure y'all gonna call him a coon. He don't know what he talking about. Okay, great. Y'all have fun with that. But let's talk about white supremacy. White supremacy came out on the 4th, folk. Philly had Patriot Front walking around. They got run off the block. Hawk Newsom ran Curtis Sliwa off the block. And then the new thing that came up, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which is near Philly, they ran some racist off the block. He called this family nigger in front of the cop. He didn't care. Then the video came out. He said he's a whole drug dealer. I don't even know why you would admit that on camera. But okay, bless your heart. Then he gets arrested. I'm seeing the pro-blacks talk about, oh, they just took him out of there for his safety. He gang with them. Black folks. Oh, yeah, let's talk about that, folks. Black folks. So this is when y'all can lead a charge to get something done when somebody's being racist, but you can't lead a charge when our own people are killing each other. Y'all not outside. I take that back. There are people in Chicago South Side that are doing things. Shout out to them. We had the Detroit 300. Y'all ran out there and said they were doing too much, got them disbanded. Okay. All these shootings are not happening with white and non-black people. It's us doing it. All these violent crimes, why the crime rate skyrocketed. The Black and Brown Coalition, that's what y'all call it, right? That's us. But we don't want to take responsibility for this. But y'all click up now to get this white boy who's probably going to lose his house now because they're going to kick him out that development, which is fine. This is a victory for y'all. Y'all have fun with it. I'm cool. I could care less. It was just funny that he was telling his whole business and showing his whole life on film for folk. And it came to bite him back in the ass. We should teach black people something. Stop putting your business on cam. When y'all used to do the videos, I'm sure y'all still do it now. Y'all flashing y'all guns and y'all money. Stop putting your business on cam. You will get killed out here. Or at least lose everything you've ever worked for. But we'll move on from that. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of clicking up for something, folk, I and y'all have heard me say this many times, but black people, y'all shamed me this weekend. And last week, y'all shamed me. This whole Sha'Carri Richardson piece, y'all shamed me. She messed up. We understand this. If y'all don't understand who Sha'Carri Richardson is, she was destined to race Shelly Ann Fraser-Price of Jamaica in the 100-meter relay during the Olympics, which would have been which was the most anticipated race in 37 years. And if she would have won, she would have not only put USA Track and Field back on the map, but it would have been a passing of the torch moment, because we all know Shelly Ann, she's getting up there. She maybe has 1 or 2 more Olympics in her, and then she's going to retire a legend. We were looking forward to this race. I was looking forward to this race. You know, Jamaica, that's where my family's from. So yes, I want to see Shelly Ann win, but you know, also being an American, we want to see one of our own elevated, especially a black woman. But then she got knocked for having cannabis in her system because apparently during an interview, she found out her biological mother died, which is, of course, a tough thing to go through. And she coped by putting drugs in her system. So when it came out, you know, everybody obviously was pretty pissed off. Like, how could you do this? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Why would you risk it for a momentary high? We understand that. Here's where the shame with black people came in. Black folks, you got to understand that there are rules for a reason. Because I kept seeing people saying, "Oh, the U.S. Olympic Committee should let her run. It's just a little weed. She won't hurt nobody." I don't think you guys understand what goes on. And again, goes back to we don't do research. Well, the majority of us don't research. If you look up the U.S. Olympic Committee and how they govern their rules for things, they follow what the world body says, especially with the anti-doping agency. The USADA, when it comes to the Olympics or international competition, they defer to the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is more stringent because they understand that they're policing damn near 200 countries, especially for the Olympics, and they need to make sure that there's fair and open competition with everybody. This is why you heard the stories, the East German teams getting knocked, the Russian teams getting knocked, our athletes got knocked. So watching black people on both sides of the aisle espouse their arguments, which is fair, and I jumped into it too. Of course, you could tell who didn't research or who didn't decide to go read an article. They just went on another page and looked at the opinions there and just formulated it. Because I had people call me dumb because I said she made a mistake and she can't run the 100 meters. This fool's going to tell me, oh, it's only a 30-day ban. I'm like, ma'am, the race is on the 27th. Her ban is the 28th. How the hell is she going to run if she's suspended? Then when I was out yesterday, I was talking with someone and they said, well, they did the test on the 19th. Why didn't they just retroactive it to the 19th? And he made a valid point, but then I also thought you don't want to open that door. Because let me explain this to you, black folks. What you're advocating right now. I get that you want this girl to race and you want to see black girl magic and all this, but this was black girl tragic in this aspect. Because as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to defend her. But not for this. This was black girl tragic because she understood the rule and she knew what was on the line. Now, again, I'm not diminishing the fact that her mother died. That sucks. But she also understood that there was a lot on the line here. You cannot risk a potential multi-million-dollar payday in endorsements and the free press you're going to get on a joint. It's just like when Stephen A. always says, stay off the weed. Duh. For 2 weeks, you couldn't stay off weed. For a month, you couldn't stay off. Now, I'm going to defend her here. Well, this will be, I guess we'll call this 1A defense. She took responsibility for it. And I'm all for that because we talk about accountability here. I'm all for that. The fact that I watch black people online bitch, moan, and complain that even though she took accountability, she should still race makes no sense. She owned up to what she did. She said she was sorry. She'll come back better and stronger from it. She's only 21. She could possibly have damn near 7 Olympic. No, 5 Olympics in her. She could be around for the next 20 years. But to watch black folks go online and put up a BS petition, matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up while I'm talking to you. This BS petition saying that she should race because the rules are archaic and racist makes no sense. So, as of doing this, there's 500,000 signatures to the IOC. I think it's the IOC and the U.S. Olympic Committee saying that she should run this race. And I'm saying to myself, so y'all are going to come outside knowing what you know, seeing how she went on Good Morning America and took responsibility. Y'all still out here trying to get her to run this race. When y'all don't even realize that if she runs this race, y'all might as well not compete anymore. Why do I say that? Okay, folks. If you look up marijuana, you can hide steroids in this. You can use cannabis and lace it with drugs that will help your performance, like muscle relaxers. So you mean to tell me you want this black woman to race so she can race and blow open the door for other countries to find ways to cheat? Because let's just say she runs this race and she wins it. Now you just told the whole world, hey, you could smoke some weed and nothing's going to happen to you. Okay, fine. You pro marijuana people, y'all going to have y'all's fun. But then after the Olympics are over, you're going to have your so-called cave beasts and the Asians and Hispanics, and even black folks thinking of ways to use marijuana to get an advantage. So the Dutch country, where weed is already legal, they start putting it in their PEDs and HGH in a form that's not that only the marijuana is going to be detectable, not that. They start winning medals. Guess what? Black folks going to run outside and talk about, oh, they're cheating, they're cheating. Then you're going to say the Olympics are racist again. I told y'all, leave this door closed. Let her take her accountability and let her move on. But there was something about the petition that bothered me. Number one, I read the whole thing. It was like 2 pages. It smells of BLM. Number one. It just smells of it. It stinks of it. Or somebody that still believes in BLM's message. Because there were like 3 parts in this that were very alarming to me. Number one, the second paragraph says, actually, let me see, make sure I didn't share it yet. I want y'all to really look at this. I don't know if you, well, I'm sure when you see it on the playback, it'll be up. It'll be more visible. It says, however, due to an outdated and arbitrarily enforced rule around marijuana, she's now going to be kept from competing on the world stage. In no world is marijuana performance enhancing drugs for runners, and in more places in the United States and around the world, marijuana use is legal. The United States anti-doping agency should drop their penalty and allow Richardson to compete. Again, I just said you do not want to open that door. We understand it's not a performance-enhancing drug, but again, you could hide muscle relaxers in it. You can hide steroids into it. You could put the steroids in liquid form, bong hit, and inhale it. Now, I don't know if it's going to work, but trust me, they'll figure out a way. Leave this door closed. You don't want this. But black folks are going to die on this hill. I don't know why. Fine. Okay. Here's the second thing that alarmed me. It says the imposition of a penalty against a world-class black queer woman athlete is powerfully and infuriatingly reminiscent of the way drug laws are regularly applied in the United States. Okay, when I read this, I didn't even know she was gay. I didn't care. I was not looking for her sexual orientation. What does her LGBT status have to do with whether she runs a race or not? Are you trying to guilt them to saying they're doing this because she's a black gay woman? This is why I tell y'all, these hills, y'all gotta pick and choose. Y'all gotta read the room. On optics, this makes us look weak. You have a runner who took responsibility for her action, and y'all still fighting this. Lance Armstrong lied for years about taking PEDs. He finally got caught. He took responsibility. Begrudgingly, but he took it. I didn't see white folks fighting this hard for him. This is what I mean. You guys, we don't pick the right battles. And we exercise too much energy in the wrong battles. So when the battles that we need to fight are up, we do not have the energy or the numbers to do it. This should not have gotten past this many signatures. It should not have. But here's the statement that really angered me. Recreational marijuana use has been de facto legal for upper middle class white people for years, something more states are recognizing as a legalized marijuana for all people, and consider how to repair the damage done to black and brown communities by decades on the war on drugs. Why the hell are you bringing up white people on this? I'm going to ask black people a question again, since we like to repeat ourselves. Why the hell are you bringing up white people in this? I'm going to say it a third time, because I know a lot of y'all are used to hearing your smoke detector go off and you got the tinnitus. I get it. So you can't hear what I'm saying. I'm going to say it again for a third time. Why in the hell are you bringing up white people on this? White people have nothing to do with this. And you don't even say white people. You said upper middle class white people. So poor white people don't smoke weed. Oh, I get it. You think they're part of you. Ah, I get it. They're part of the downtrodden group. Got it. I forgot. Black people hate white people until it benefits them. Got it. Just like you think white people use us when it benefits them, which they do. But now you want to use their tactic when you're trying to uplift a black woman. So you put out this petition, but your petition makes not only the black community look weak, because you're trying to beg them to let her run in something that black people have said is racist off top, because you said that the rule is arbitrarily enforced, which means you're saying that they are somehow trying to keep black folks from doing it. But here's my question. How come all the other black countries and black athletes are not getting knocked for this? How come the Dutch countries where, again, weed is legal, they're smart enough to know leading up to the Olympics, I'm not going to do this. The Hispanic countries, Black and Brown Coalition, how come they're not doing it? Oh, I'm sure y'all going to bring up UFC. They're a private company. They can do whatever they want. And they're still under the USADA. So whatever they got going on over there, you can go complain to Dana White about that. This is the World Anti-Doping Agency. The USADA, again, told you, they defer to them. So she's under the WADA rules. But here's the thing that made me laugh out loud, and my wife looked at me crazy. So you said arbitrarily enforced, right? But your last paragraph says the world is coming together for a Summer Olympics postponed by a global pandemic, and we deserve to see the best athletes in fair, open competition. What is fair? How is this petition a representation of fairness? You said you want to see the best athletes in fair, open competition. What if this girl smoked the night before the race and she came in fourth? Then you find out later she smoked beforehand. Y'all going to be pissed off. How is that fair? How is that fair to Shelly Ann? How's that fair to the other 6 runners on there? How is that fair to the entire U.S. Olympic squad as an entity? The brand. How is that fair? How is it fair that y'all telling her, hey, you should be allowed to smoke weed and go run? Who's going to respect her win? Who? Again, I keep telling y'all, y'all are opening doors that you are not ready to open up. You're opening doors that you do not want opened. It's bad enough the Olympics already said black women, due to their hair, they can't wear specially designed swim caps. I don't agree with that. They should wear whatever. I don't get it. And I hope those sisters don't cut their hair just so they can conform. I hope they don't do that. If it was my brother, I was like, you know what? In a perfect world, they should not go and make a statement. But I know they've been training for years and they want to go win. So my only hope is they go out there and win gold. And then they flip off the committee. But, it's a perfect world. But this whole petition thing, black folks, this is an L. Now, this is where else I'm going to defend her at. And this kind of like bookends what I started with Cosby and Felicia Rashad and loyalty. So apparently, Miss Richardson put out a tweet saying, if you support Lil Nas X, you can unfollow me. And of course, people went off on her saying, I defended you against this now, but I can't defend you on this because you're denigrating this supposedly gay young man. Now, I've seen Lil Nas X in clips on YouTube and things. I think he's doing too much. This probably gonna get me in trouble, but I think he's a corporate puppet. He's trying to be the face of gay degeneracy. And it doesn't help that he's a black man. So this is going to be another thing we're going to get blamed for. But the fact that she's part of that community and she's speaking out against this, and she's not the only person that's done this, because Kwame Brown's cousin has done the same thing. Now y'all want to cancel her after y'all were fighting for her. Excuse me. Now I see what black women talking about. Y'all don't get no love. Y'all loved me just a week ago. So now this woman can't have her own opinion. So we got Bill Cosby going off on Howard, Sha'Carri Richardson going off on Lil Nas X. We have black people taking accountability for things that they've done. But black people won't accept it because they want to be proven right all the time. I don't remember if I've ever told this analogy on air, but I'll end it off with this. Everybody in the world eats salad, correct? We enjoy salad. You know, those who eat vegetables and things of that nature. And we, for the most part, outside of the Asian countries, we eat salad with forks. Do we not? Yes, we do. Sometimes hands. Depends. Asian countries eat with chopsticks, no racism, no xenophobia. I equate it to this, folks. I'm modifying it a little bit. So the whole world, outside the Asian countries, eats salad with forks. But when they go to other countries, depending on the customs, you have to conform. Correct? Conform to their traditions. You go to Germany, you eat pork. It's usually fresh, raw. You know, depending on wherever you go. But my point is this. Every other culture on this planet understands that when you go into a certain sector or certain culture, you have to conform to that culture. Now, if you want to change, it's best that you understand that culture first, and then you change it. For some reason, black people don't do this. We are the culture that gives everybody our salads, but then expects them to eat it with a spoon. And then expect everyone to conform to us. So while everybody else is conforming so they can change it, black people think that everyone should change and conform to us. That's not how that works. Especially when you're talking about taking on the whole world. It ain't gonna work. And I know pro-black's probably gonna see this and get pissed off at me for saying that, but this is the God-honest truth. This is why we get in trouble. You're talking about 50 million people in this country. I'm just dealing with this country going against 320. We're not going to win that. Our strategies are so outdated and so behind. This is why everybody else is kicking our ass. We lack accountability. We don't know how to cooperate with each other. We sit up here and fight the wrong battles with the most energy. We take any little win we can get instead of going for the big victories where something can actually move. And then we come back outside and scream about racism every 5 minutes. Now, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, contrary to what someone like Jesse Lee Peterson would say. But not everything's racist. Some things are just rooted in, I won't say tradition, but in a set standard. And I always tell y'all this, Black people operate in double standard and nobody else in the world does it. Because anytime any other group tries to pull a double standard, everybody calls them out on it. But it seems like when we get called out on it, we want to holler, piss, and moan. This is not it, folks. We're halfway through 2021, and we are taking severe L's right now. The Olympics are 2 weeks away, and here we go. We have a runner that got kicked out. We have a hammer thrower who's sitting there talking about she gonna protest at the Olympics after they told you better not. Talking about she was set up at trials when they played the national anthem. But then we find out that she been talking real spicy on other groups. Well, you know, we gonna let that go because apparently y'all keep telling me that Black people can't be racist because we have no power. Okay, fine, whatever. My point is this, Black folks, we need to change. And this is why I keep telling y'all we might have to seriously think about doing a separation. I know that's tough. It's tough. We're gonna have to separate. You hear the pro-Black saying it. We all not gonna make it. Y'all pissed off at the MAGA people. Y'all pissed off at the independents who ride who ride the fence with old boy Trump. You got the Black liberals that don't want to come outside and defend their man Biden. You got all these sectors of Black people. We are so fractured. We got to reset. There's got to be a reset happening. I'm sorry. We have no general consensus. We have no standard. We have no agenda. I put up something on my Instagram today. Your man, the president and the vice president pledged $70 billion to HBCUs after during the election cycle. November 3rd, exactly the day that the entire country was voting. Now, we go to May 7th, and it's revealed that because of the windfall of his BS America Rescue Plan, they're getting a record $3 billion in a windfall to the HBCUs. And yet this came off the heels of old boy Trump giving HBCUs $250 million every year. So in actuality, you only up that man $550 million. $500 million, I'm sorry. That's all you did. You're $67 billion off your pace. But they love you so much, right? The Black president who went to an HBCU loves you so much. She's content with giving you $3 billion, but no Black woman agenda. No talk of getting Black people ahead. But y'all worried about a runner who took accountability for her actions. Y'all want her to run. Y'all got it. I want to thank y'all for joining me. Again, shout out to Topher for coming through in the chat room. And, you know, Black people, I'm not even gonna, it's enough. Yeah, I ain't gonna listen anyway. I mean, not listen to this, but this is one of those things that's going to go one in one ear, out the other. Y'all, change is scary for y'all. But, you know, anyway, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of this evening. I want to thank you for listening, watching, share it with your friends, share it with your favorite pro-black, share it with your mama, your daddy, if y'all know who he is. I'm just playing. Share it with your brother, sister, cousin, auntie, ratchet girl on the fifth floor. And have those conversations, folks. Have those conversations. Take care. Stay safe. Unless you live in Texas, Mississippi, Ohio, in places where they have face masks are optional. Wear your mask to get your supplies. I'm out.